Good evening, this is the Mad Duck again with my second video. Yay! This time I'm building one of these ladder blanket top basket things. I call it the steps to a happy marriage. If you're wondering why, ask my wife. But either way, let me show you how I put this together. I'm going to start out by, you guessed it, milling my wood. Start out with a planer, and I know I don't show it here or it's hard to see. It's actually 3 boards that I milled because I actually made a mistake, which I'm not going to show you. Why? Because it's my video. I don't want to show you my mistakes. Not all of them anyway. After you planed it down, go ahead and cut it to size. And double check your cuts before you cut them. Hey, if you don't want to double check your cuts, that's fine. I make mistakes, so I double check my cuts. Now, because my table saw is down, I went ahead and ripped it with my bandsaw. But make sure you leave yourself enough room. Yeah. Hey, look at that. Stacked it up just for the YouTube. Look at that. It looks awesome, right? Yeah. Pew pew. Now your glue up. This one goes swimmingly. Who says that swimmingly? Either way, this next one, when I glued it up, I noticed it was a bit off. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to show you now. See that? If you can't, it's okay. If you can, good eye, because I didn't see it the first time. It was off by millimeters, so after I run it twice through the planer just to get it straight again, second glue comes up and it looks perfect. Look at that. Mind you, I did grab the wrong rag, so after my little celebratory pew-pew, I saw the stains on my hand and realized it was the wrong rag. Whatever, moving on. After the glue up, I went ahead to let them dry, went to get my miter saw. Now, my miter saw is a hideaway because I'm in a small shop and I needed to hide away. I cut every essential piece, you guys know what I'm saying. I cut them at 15 degrees. If you need to understand why, you try putting a 35 or 45 degree angle when you're next to the John. Look at that. Keep things clean. Now, you see that as I'm gluing things up for the rack, I got the nail gun out. Why? Because I like overkill. I would like it to stay still while I drill the hole. After the drill hole is in, my pilot hole, I countersink it to try to make the screw disappear. Pilot hole in, countersunk screw, and look at that. Looks pretty on both sides. Now, right here, I am adding a backstop. Basically, I am making sure that when I drill the hole, because I want to drill just one hole through both of the boards, it doesn't blow out. But because your boy here is a genius, he forgot the drill that he was going to use. So after I grab this second clamp, you can go ahead and cue in the Jeopardy music. About time you got back. Look at this guy, just taking his sweet time, double checking, triple checking. Let's get down to work. Drilling some holes, measure them out properly because you want the same spacing for all of them just so it looks nice and all copacetic. Now, Comes the fun part, sanding. So after you start sanding and sand some more, I accidentally forgot to show you that I glued up the little front ledge, but I glued it to the top, and moving on, it's glued on. Now more sanding. And mind you, while I do have this whole thing about sanding, making sure I round off the corners, because that's what I like. I like rounded corners. I do use this time to sand to catch up on my shows, because it takes a while. Not only do I start off at 80 grit to knock off the corners, I go to 120, I go to 180. You gotta make it look nice. And you gotta make it feel nice. Hey, look at the time. Let me put this down, because you know what time it is? Coffee break. Yum, yum, yum. Gotta love the Java. Keeps you going late at night at whatever time this is. Yeah, thumbs up to you, guy. Now, back to work, and it's more sanding. As you can see in the background, yeah, that's my show's going, yeah. More sanding. Now, after you have finished sanding, you want to go ahead and grab those boards that you just finished sanding and drill pilot holes in them also, so you can connect them to the side. You've already put in the holes on the braces. Now, you want a straight hole to go into the side. Measure twice. After you measure twice, I go ahead and do one side at a time. This is the best way that I came up with. If you have a better way, let me know. I'm not a genius. I'm just good at putting things together. Now, this is my patented face of adjustment, because it needs to be tilted just a little bit. You go in, you lean close, and yeah, right there. No, almost. See that concentration? That's the thing you need right there. Tighten it down, and I added a brace in the back. Why? Because overkill's the best type of kill. Add a brace, make sure that it's not going to move anywhere. It stays in place, and honestly, I thought it would look better. And look at that, safety first. Somebody is thinking about their lungs. And leave me alone about my tools. I like my little tools. I like my variety of tools, because gifted tools are the best type of tools. Now, what's different is I'm using a block plane to just knock down the edges, because the tool that I used is just literally a hair thinner than the actual board. That's why you see me go around the board this time. And I just still used the block plane because it didn't look right without it. Had to make the edges match. After the edges match, I pre-drilled the holes, and I started putting everything together. Look at that. Flipped over, clapped it down, and more planing. I have to make it look even. Gotta make it look pretty for the wife. Hence the name, Steps to a Happy Marriage. Now, while this project looks complete, now that I've added this back brace, it's not, because I still have to stain it. And you know how the best way to stain it is? Before you sand it, again, you have to take it apart. So, here we go. Now, the best way to take something apart is to have a helper. If you don't have a helper or a wonderful wife that I love to death to help you, use a table and let the wife sleep. Mind you, This is steps to a happy marriage. Let the wife get her sleep. After she slept, we're ready for staining. And look at that, I got the right rag and I put the gloves on so I don't stain my hands. Look at that, it's pretty. See the sheen? See the shine? Sheen, shine, sheen and shine, whatever. Let's stain it. It's gonna look great. With this one, I decided to go with just a Danish oil, just to protect it, and it looks nice. Red oak looks good under Danish oil. Make sure you get every nook and cranny. And once you have reached every nook and cranny, you can clearly see that I am still catching up on my shows because, yeah, this takes a while too. Now, this is the final assembly. See that? Set the screws in, and now that the screws are preset, I can go in and grab the boards and put it all together to just make it look all finished. Now that you put finish on. Hey, look, I'm putting it together. Now, after I do this whole little dance of trying to line up the screw holes and so I don't scratch things up and it looks awesome. Hey, look at that. I can flip the whole thing over. This thing is not really heavy. It might weigh like 15 pounds at the most. But let's go into some weird angles. Forget your pew-pew. It looks weird. Stop. Stop it. Yeah. Weird angles. Now, it's a weird angle, but you see what I'm trying to do. Find a stud. I put a brad nail, 18 millimeter. It's almost to the point that you can't see it, but once you have everything put together, it looks great. It looks awesome. It looks like you have taken the steps to a happy marriage. So I'm going to give this a thumbs up. A thumbs up. Hey, yeah, thumbs up. I hope you like it, guys. Let me know.